I cried out to God for help. I cried out to God to hear me. When I was in distress, I sought the Lord. At night, I stretched out untiring hands, and I would not be comforted. I remembered you, God, and I groaned. I meditated, and my spirit grew faint. You kept my eyes from closing. I was too troubled to speak. I thought about the former days, the years of long ago. I remembered my songs in the night. My heart meditated, and my spirit asked, will the Lord reject forever? Will he never show his favor again? Has his unfailing love vanished forever? Has his promise failed for all time? Has God forgotten to be merciful? Has he in anger withheld his compassion? Then I thought, to this I will appeal. The years when the Most High stretched out his right hand. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will consider all your works and meditate on all your mighty deeds. Your ways, God, are holy. What God is as great as our God? You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the peoples. With your mighty arm, you redeemed your people, the descendants of Jacob and Joseph. The waters saw you, God. The waters saw you and writhed. The very depths were convulsed. The clouds poured down water. The heavens resounded with thunder. Your arrows flashed back and forth. Your thunder was heard in the whirlwind. Your lightning lit up the world. The earth trembled and quaked. Your path led through the sea, your way through the mighty waters, though your footprints were not seen. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. This psalm is a profound expression of struggle, doubt, and ultimately faith. It begins with a personal cry for help, depicting a deep sense of distress and longing for God's presence. The psalmist describes the state of being unable to find rest or comfort, feeling overwhelmed by their troubles. They are reaching out to God, seeking reassurance and solace during a time of discomfort and spiritual turmoil. This opening section underscores the human condition, marked by moments of intense struggle where one reaches out to a higher power for aid and understanding. The next part of the psalm reflects on the psalmist's internal conflict and questions about God's faithfulness. The psalmist meditates on past experiences, recalling songs and memories of God's previous interventions, and wonders about the current silence they perceive from God. There is a sense of lament here, seen through a series of rhetorical questions that probe into deep-seated fears. The possibility of God's rejection, the potential loss of his favor and love, and the troubling thought that God may have forgotten to be merciful. These questions illustrate a crisis of faith, where the deeply felt absence of God's active presence in times of trouble makes the psalmist question the very nature and consistency of his promises and compassion. However, there is a pivotal shift in the tone and focus of the psalm. Despite the emergence of doubts and feelings of abandonment, the psalmist intentionally decides to remember the years when the Most High stretched out his right hand. This act of recollection serves as a turning point, where the psalmist chooses to consciously recall and meditate on God's mighty deeds and wondrous works from the past. The emphasis moves from the personal anguish and uncertainty to a broader reflection on God's historical actions, celebrating his holiness and majesty. This conscious redirection of thought towards God's past miracles, such as the redemption and guidance of his people, acts as a spiritual anchor for the psalmist. The psalm gives a profound acknowledgement of God's power as demonstrated through historical acts of salvation and deliverance. It highlights God's unmatched greatness, his ability to perform miracles, and his active role in the lives of his people, underscoring his uniqueness among all deities. An illustration provided in the psalm recounts the mighty acts during the Exodus, where nature itself responded to God's presence. By evoking the imagery of waters trembling, thunderstorms, and God's path leading through the sea, the psalmist